Welcome back, family. We're here for the Back Issue Book Club, which is a series where we read back issues of stories, full miniseries, maxi series, story arcs in certain books. And what I'm covering right now is the Saga series. In case you didn't see it from the thumbnail. I started reading last week, and I read issues 1 through 6, and I really liked it. I decided to double down and go for 12 issues this week, reading numbers 7 through 18. Remember that number is inclusive, so you can't just say 18 minus 7 equals 11. Nope. Anyway, also we have Kill Your Darlings number 5 in the series on that. So let me start with Kill Your Darlings first, because it's a single book. This story, I'm still enjoying the book. I really do. This issue was, it ended at number 4 on kind of a cliffhanger, where Rose's friend gets taken over in the make-believe world, I guess, that she's created, which, the world itself is slowly deteriorating, similar to, like, Never-Ending Story. And her friend, who goes in there with her, kind of gets possessed. And we're left on a cliffhanger, like, oh, what's going to happen? This issue, does not touch on that at all. This is kind of like an origin issue of Rose. And it shows her mom working and being pregnant and just say, she can't make it on her own, and either her husband, boyfriend, whichever, is not worth her time. It just makes it seem like he's... I remember actually reading that he's abusive, but it definitely gave that feeling. I don't feel that he's left. He may have left, but she's just making sure that he doesn't come back, or she's leaving him in the same house. She says that she can't afford the house by herself, but one thing that you can make sure is that he never gets to see his daughter. So hint, hint, I got a feeling we're going to wind up seeing the father at some point meeting his daughter. Not in this book. But as she's driving, pregnant, and this is back in 1986, I believe, 85, 86, somewhere around that time frame. She goes into labor in this tremendous rainstorm. And she's just trying to get to the hospital, and visibility is next to nothing. It's just torrential rain. And all of a sudden she hears a thud. She pulls over, and she has hit a child, which it was appropriate. They actually had an Atari t-shirt on the kid. And he's asking for help, but she's feeling the contractions, and you can see that she wants help, and by the same token, she knows that she's got to get herself to a hospital. So she makes a decision to leave the child there, who I think actually draws his last breath before she even gets in the car. And if that's the case, even if she had gone to help the kid, she couldn't have saved him. She gets to the hospital, and she hears on the news after she's given birth that the body of the missing 10-year-old, 11-year-old boy, whichever, was found in a drainage ditch after the water levels had gone down. That's how bad the rains were. My first question when I read this was, why was an 11-year-old walking down the highway in a tremendous rainstorm? And keep your ass out of the road. Anyway, so, yeah, I couldn't figure out why he was there. They didn't elaborate that he had been hit after he was missing for a day or two, or it's just that he got hit that first day, and it took till 3 days for them to find the body after the floodwaters had gone down. But again, she couldn't have saved him. What the heck was he doing there in the first place? And they've got to be showing this for some kind of reason, showing that Rose's birth was tainted by another child's death. So that's going to definitely come into play, but they did not elaborate. That was the end of this book, and we'll have number 6 in a couple of weeks, and we'll find out where this goes from there. I think we'll jump back to the current time and find out, is this the ghost or manifestation of that child that got left behind? I don't know. But again, it wasn't the infant, the unborn infant's fault. If it's a ghost of a 10-year-old, though, you try explaining that to a 10-year-old. Anyway, again, great storyline, great arc, great artwork. Loved it. Still recommending reading this series. Moving on to Saga. Okay. This, I can't find a single part in any of these storylines, in any of these episodes, these issues, that I wish they had written differently. I like the way they write it. Sometimes it's a little predictable what's going to happen, but so is life. Life can be somewhat a little bit predictable as well. And I'm also, I think I mentioned in the last episode, I am not a fan of sex or PDA or anything in comic books. That's just one thing that I don't enjoy reading. If I see it in a movie, I usually turn it off. There's certain movies that I can't stand because they have genitalia, Watchmen, This Is the End. I can't stand those movies because of I don't want to see it on the screen. I'm sorry, I just don't. That being said, they have some instances, some phrases, some pictures that are in these series, and for some reason it doesn't trigger that from me. Yeah, I'm a prude. I'm sorry. The giant that's on, not the asteroid, but the egg, that was drawn. I went, ew. But not just because of what I see down there, but everything. He's just a big blob. I mean, it reminds like what it looks like when I get out of the shower. No, just kidding. No, but when oh goodness, I can't remember names. I have to pause for a second. Okay, to assist me, I just pulled up a cast list of everybody so I can look down and go, oh yeah, that's their name. So what was I saying? I don't remember what I was talking about. Okay, yeah, I do remember. When Alana wants to forget about how they were trying to pressure her into getting a job and everything else, and what she says she wants to do to Marco. I'm not going to elaborate because I'm trying to keep this clean on the channel, but her mom looks out the window and with Dr. Heist, I think his name is, it's like, what is she doing? Is she praying? No, she's not praying. I found it humorous. So, I mean, it's done absolutely enough to be naughty, but not enough to be vulgar. I think that's the best way to try to describe it. The stuff that's in the book is vulgar enough that you know what they're talking about or know what they're alluding to, or even drawn, it's still rated R, not rated X, or or rated NC-17, whatever the new rating system is. I really am liking the character Isabel. The fact that we lost Marco's father so quickly was rather shocking. But I think that will advance certain parts of the story. He's really the grounding voice to his wife, and I think his wife is going to have to learn to be a little bit more patient and more accepting on her own rather than have her husband do it for her, which I'm really looking forward to. The Prince Robots, the fourth, having to reboot after, I mean, seriously, if you know this guy is coming after you, maybe it would have been a good idea to just like unplug him permanently, but I guess it wasn't part of the script. Dr. Heiss getting killed was disappointing but understandable and part of the story. I get that. I really thought that they were going to kill Lion Cat, the way Lion Cat was floating out in space, and the way that they made it seem so final at the end of the episode, end of the issue. But then they show, Star-Lord flying out there to the Will to go rescue him. I thought it kind of diminished a little bit of the story there. I don't know if the Will is going to have a recovery from his lack of brain function after being stabbed in the neck by Sophie, which I realized later on that was named for his sister, which was so beautiful. Yeah, I'm really liking this storyline, and the fact that number 18 ended a kind of a story arc where you see a little time jump, and now kid's name? Hazel. There it goes, all the way at the bottom. Is now of walking age. So you figure she's probably around 2-ish, by the looks of it. So we had a little bit of a time jump from a toddler to 2. And I don't remember seeing Marco. Only the mother and the child coming out of the ship. So hopefully everything's okay. The little hints that Hazel drops in, like, oh, yeah, this will be the last time that my mom's on the planet. Not my granny, though. My granny will be here in the future. It makes you wonder, like, does something happen to the character? Do they go their separate ways? Yeah, and these little clues are priming you for things that can happen in the future without telling you too much. And also will give you a little aha moment when that actually happens. Oh, this is what she was talking about back in issue number 3, number 4, number 12, whatever. So it's extremely well written, well drawn. I'm loving this series. I'm up in my, so far I'm gonna up my 8.0 of the first 6 to an 8.5 of the first 18. And continuing this, I'm going to hit another 12 issues of this. And I believe I have the Enfield Gang Massacre also for next week. So next week I will be hitting issues 19 through 30 of Saga, which puts me, I think, almost at the halfway point of where they are. I'm thinking that maybe when I get caught, if it continues being this interesting, and I get caught all the way up, I may wind up subscribing to this. We'll see what happens on this. It's very hard to keep this kind of a level the whole time. I mean, even in your best books have lulls. And let's see what happens. So yeah, Kill Your Darlings, excellent read, well drawn, little, what do you call it? Prequel to, what was it, The Unnatural? It was a series that just came out by Image. So if you read that, Unnatural number 1, I think that was the name of it. It came out this past week, and it had, like, at the end of Kill Your Darlings, there's a few page prequel to that storyline. So if you'd like to get a little bit more in depth, that could be another reason for you to pick it up. I didn't read it because I didn't read the Unnatural yet. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Click on those notifications so you know where more stuff is dropping. This is going to be going on to our Patreon members first. They'll be seeing this probably Monday night, and it becomes available to the general public on Thursdays. So I'm recording this Monday night, so I actually have to get off of here so I can start getting ready for our live broadcast, which is for the cover price top 10. Or basically the Spider-Man show. If you saw the top 10 this week, oh my god. And we're going to review that and see if which books are a worthwhile investment, which ones are the ones you should not buy into, and make our worst pick and best pick of the lot. Until we see you in the next video, though, looking forward to it, though. Mahalo.